You are the magnet to your own destiny. Become the person who attracts the life you desire. Focus on growing into the person who attracts everything you dream of. What if everything you've been chasing isn't the answer? What if the reason you haven't achieved your biggest goals isn't because you're not trying hard enough, but because you're focusing on the wrong thing? What if, instead of wishing for more success, wealth, or happiness, the key is not what you're chasing, but who you are becoming? You attract what you are, not what you want. Have you ever stopped to think about that? How much of your life is shaped by your inner world and your beliefs? Are you ready to take a good hard look at the person you are today and decide if you need to change in order to get the results you've been hoping for? So if you're ready to make real changes within yourself and unlock your potential, let's dive in. Number 1, change your character if you want better outcomes. It all starts with the kind of person you are. Not with your goals, not with your dreams, not even with your intentions. It starts with your character, because life does not respond to what you say you want. Life responds to who you are. If you want better outcomes, you have to become someone better. That's the truth. And it's not meant to hurt. It's meant to wake you up. See, most people are chasing things. They want more money, more freedom, more love, more respect. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. But the problem is, they want those results without changing the foundation. You can't keep being the same and expect different results. You can't expect loyalty if you're not consistent. You can't expect trust if you're not honest. You can't expect excellence if you're cutting corners. The results are reflections. What you attract is a mirror of your behavior, your choices, and your values. Now I'm talking to you not as someone above you, but as someone who learned it the hard way. I used to think the world would give me what I deserved. But the world doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what you demand of yourself. And that demand must start from within. If you don't upgrade your character, life will keep sending you the same test, over and over again. And not because it's cruel, but because you haven't changed. And until you change, the outcomes won't either. Think about your life right now. Think about the people in it, the situations you're in, the opportunities you have or don't have. These didn't just show up by accident. They showed up because of who you've been. Your daily habits, your beliefs, your emotional reactions, the way you talk to others, the way you treat yourself when no one's around. That's your character. And your character is shaping your outcomes every single day. You can't fake character. You can't pretend to be driven or pretend to be trustworthy. People can see it. Life can see it. And eventually, so will you. So if things around you aren't working, you've got to go to the core and ask, who am I right now? Not who do I say I am? Not what do I post online? Who am I when no one's watching? What kind of effort do I give when it's hard? What kind of attitude do I carry when I'm tested? That's where everything begins. If you want better outcomes, then change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you show up. Build stronger habits. Speak more truth. Stand by your values. Set higher standards. Say no to the things that waste your time. Say yes to the things that scare you but grow you. That's how you shift your results. Not by wishing for better, by becoming better. You know, sometimes people say, I just want someone to believe in me. But the real question is, can you believe in yourself based on your own behavior? Are you showing up in a way that deserves belief? Are you being the kind of person others can count on? Because when your character grows, so does your confidence. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to prove anything. Your consistency becomes your identity. Your self-respect starts rising. You stop tolerating nonsense. You stop chasing things that are beneath you. You start attracting what matches your new level. That's how it works. Life doesn't give you what's easy. It gives you what matches your inner structure, your maturity, your patience, your discipline, your honesty, your courage. So if you want something better, better business, better relationships, better peace, build yourself into someone who can handle those things. And I'll tell you something else. Character means doing the right thing, even when no one's clapping, even when no one's watching, even when it doesn't feel good, Because that's when the real change happens. That's when you grow. That's when you stop relying on motivation and start relying on responsibility. Motivation fades, but character stays. The truth is, the results you're getting right now, they're not just random, they're feedback, they're messages. If you don't like what life is giving you, look in the mirror. Don't get bitter. Don't blame. Get real. Get honest. Because the moment you say this isn't what I want and I'm going to change who I am to change this, that's the moment your life starts to turn. You want to attract loyalty, then become loyal. You want to attract opportunity, then become someone who prepares without being told. You want to attract love, then become loving, not needy. You want to attract strength, then stop avoiding the hard things and face them head on. You attract what you are, always. If you're unclear about who you are right now, just look at your habits. Look at how you spend your time. Look at how you treat people when you're frustrated. Look at the kind of people who are drawn to you. That's your reflection. And if you don't like it, that's good news. That means you're ready for change. And changing your character doesn't mean being perfect. It means being intentional. It means choosing who you want to be and showing up that way day after day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That's what builds strength. That's what builds identity. That's what draws new opportunities to you. I've seen it with people from all walks of life. The ones who change their results are the ones who stop making excuses and start making adjustments. They start waking up earlier. They start listening more. They start doing the things they said they'd do. They stop hiding behind distractions. They stop avoiding responsibility.
Stop saying someday and start saying now. You want better, be better. You want more, do more. You want peace. Stop creating chaos. You want greatness. Start acting like someone who earns it. You don't wait for the world to change first. You change, you grow, you build, you work, and then the world begins to respond to you differently. Because now you're carrying something inside you that wasn't there before. Character, real character. And that's rare. That's powerful. And I'll tell you, the world makes room for the person who refuses to stay small. The person who refuses to lie to themselves. The person who stops waiting and starts becoming. Because once you become someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more grounded, your energy shifts. Your perspective shifts. Your actions shifts. And suddenly the things that once ignored you start noticing you. The things that once felt out of reach start appearing within reach. Why? Because you changed who you are. And that is how you change your life. That is how you attract what you once only dreamed of. It begins with you, not with luck, not with a miracle, with your decision to become someone worthy of the life you say you want. So don't ask life for a better outcome. Ask yourself who you must become to deserve it. Then go to work on that version of you every single day. That's where your power is. That's where the change begins. That's where everything turns around.
Number 2, develop real discipline to attract real achievement. Discipline is the bridge between your vision and your results. It is not something you are born with. It is something you create, something you build through repeated effort and clear intention. If you want real achievement, not temporary success, not lucky breaks, but real achievement that lasts, then you need real discipline that holds strong when life gets tough. It is not enough to simply want something. Everyone wants something, but not everyone is willing to train themselves into the kind of person who follows through. Wanting is easy. Training is rare. That's what separates those who try from those who win. The reason most people do not achieve what they say they want is because they lack the structure that discipline brings. They show up only when they feel good. They work only when it's convenient. They rely on motivation, which is unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. When you make that shift from emotional living to disciplined action, you begin to change your entire future. Discipline is how you break free from your own patterns. You have habits that are holding you back. You have thoughts that distract you. You have behaviors that feel good in the moment, but rob you of long-term growth. Only discipline can change that. And it doesn't happen all at once. It happens through choices. Choosing to wake up earlier. Choosing to speak less and do more. Choosing to stay focused when your mind wants to wander. Choosing to follow through when excuses feel comfortable. That's how real progress is made. Discipline does not just make you stronger. It makes you sharper. It teaches you to notice the little things. The extra hour wasted. The shortcut you almost took. The negative voice you nearly believed. It trains your mind to push back against your own weaknesses. Not because you're never tired. Not because you're never tempted. But because you've built something stronger than your excuses. You've built a code. A standard. And you refuse to let yourself fall beneath it. Most people don't fail because of lack of talent. They fail because they can't stay consistent. They start strong and fall apart. They talk big and act small. They have dreams but no plan. And even worse, they don't have the discipline to stick to the plan. You can have all the ideas in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to act on them day after day, you'll stay stuck. That's the truth. The difference between those who reach the top and those who stay in the middle is never just ability. It's discipline. The unshakable decision to keep showing up even when it's boring, even when it's lonely, even when it's hard. And here's what you have to understand. Discipline doesn't take away your freedom. It gives you real freedom. The freedom to wake up and know you're in control of your day. The freedom to look at your progress and see that you built it. The freedom to trust yourself. People who lack discipline are slaves to their impulses. They can't say no. They chase every distraction. They fall for every trap. But disciplined people move with purpose. They don't waste energy. They don't waste time. They use their hours wisely. They direct their focus fully. That's how achievement is earned. You want to accomplish something meaningful. You have to earn it through repetition, through mastery of your craft, through building routines that serve your mission. And those routines are not easy to stick to. They test you. They ask more of you than you feel like giving. But that's how growth works. You stretch. You push. You resist the temptation to quit. That's where greatness is born. A disciplined person doesn't need to be the smartest in the room. They don't need the most resources. They just need the mindset to stay in the game when everyone else drops out. And that mindset can be built by anyone. You just have to want it enough. You have to want your future more than your comfort. You have to want the win more than the break. You have to want to improve more than you want to feel good in the moment. Every decision you make is either building discipline or destroying it. Every time you say yes to a bad habit, you're telling your mind that short-term pleasure matters more than long-term reward. But every time you hold the line and stay focused, you are carving out strength. You're building muscle in the mind. And the more you do it, the stronger it gets. Discipline is not about being hard on yourself. It's about being loyal to yourself. Loyal to your goals. Loyal to your principles. Loyal to the version of you that refuses to settle. When you live with that kind of loyalty, your life starts to transform. You waste less time. You stop arguing with yourself. You stop justifying laziness. You just act. You just do what needs to be done. Because now you're being led by your commitment, not your feelings. And don't wait for life to force discipline onto you. Don't wait until your health breaks down. Don't wait until you're broke. Don't wait until your dreams are slipping away. Start now. Start where you are. Start by mastering the small things. Wake up when you said you would. Finish the task you said you would. Follow through on the goal you set. Those little things turn into big things. That's how self-respect is built. You keep promises to yourself. That's what makes you powerful. Real discipline is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's quiet. It's repetitive. It's the decision to do it again even when no one claps. Even when no one notices. Even when no one understands. And it's in that space of repetition that breakthroughs begin to form. While others look for shortcuts, you stay steady. While others blame, you take responsibility. While others quit, you rise. There's something incredible that happens when you start to trust your own discipline. You stop doubting yourself. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You stop fearing failure. Because now you know that whatever comes, you can handle it. You've trained for it. You faced your own resistance and pushed past it. That's not something anyone can give you. That's something you earn. And once you earn that discipline, you become dangerous in the best way. You become the kind of person that cannot be easily moved. You don't fold under pressure. You don't lose focus because of opinions. You don't settle just because the path is hard. You have made your discipline your foundation. And now achievement becomes the result of who you've become. Not someday, not by chance, but by choice. The choice to develop the kind of discipline that doesn't depend on moods. The kind of discipline that stands tall when everything around you tries to pull you off track. That's how real achievement is built. That's how lasting success is created. Through consistent effort, through unwavering commitment, through daily decisions that match the life you say you want.
Number 3. Earn respect by becoming someone worth respecting first. Respect is not something you can demand. It's not something you can fake or force. Respect is given to those who earn it through how they live, how they treat others, and how they carry themselves when no one is watching. You want to be respected? Then step into the kind of life that makes others stop and pay attention. Not because you told them to, but because your actions, your decisions, and your consistency make it clear that you are someone who stands for something real. It begins with how you talk to people. Not just the ones above you. Not just the ones you admire, but the ones who can do nothing for you. Respect is earned when you treat every human being with decency and kindness, not because of what they can give you, but because of who you are. If you only treat certain people with respect, that's not character, that's convenience. And people can see right through it. True character shows up in the quiet moments, in how you listen, how you handle disagreement, and how you manage your ego. To become someone worth respecting, you must be someone who keeps their word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you promise, follow through. If you commit, don't disappear when it gets hard. Too many people today speak boldly but act weakly. They say the right things but fall short when it's time to deliver. You don't earn respect by sounding good. You earn it by being reliable, by showing people you can be counted on, by doing the right thing even when it costs you. You also earn respect by taking responsibility for your life, not blaming, not complaining, not pointing fingers. People respect those who own their decisions and own their outcomes, even when it's not pretty, even when it's painful. There's power in accountability. When you stop making excuses and start taking charge of your growth, others begin to see you differently. You're no longer just talking about change, you're leading it, living it, proving it through effort and discipline. And you don't have to be perfect to be respected. You just have to be real. Real about your struggles. Real about your progress. Real about the fact that you're working to become better every day. People connect with effort, they see it, they feel it. And when you show them that you're committed to a higher standard, not just for a moment but as a way of life, respect begins to follow. Another way to earn respect is to live with values that don't bend under pressure. When you have principles that guide your decisions, honesty, fairness, patience, courage, you show others that you're not just living for approval. You're living for meaning. You're not chasing status, you're building substance. And that kind of depth is rare in a world that often rewards shortcuts and noise. Be the person who stands firm. Be the one who doesn't change based on who's in the room. That kind of strength doesn't need attention. It draws respect naturally. If you want to be respected in your work, then let your work speak for you. Show up early, stay prepared, go beyond what's expected. Build a track record of consistency. Let people say, you can count on them. That doesn't come from one big achievement. It comes from showing up right, again and again. That's how reputations are built. That's how trust is earned. And once you have that, people start to listen when you speak. They start to believe in what you say, not because you demanded it, but because your actions earned it. Respect also grows when you uplift others instead of competing with them. Don't try to shine by dimming others. Real confidence lifts people up. When you help others win, when you support their success, when you celebrate their growth, it shows strength, not weakness. Small people tear others down. Strong people raise others up. And people remember that.
They remember how you made them feel. If you can be someone who adds value to others, they'll respect you more than someone who just talks about their own greatness. Your habits matter. What you do every day is either building a foundation others can admire or destroying your credibility. If you live recklessly, speak carelessly, and act without discipline, don't expect others to look up to you. You want to be a role model, then act like one. You don't have to be famous. You don't need a title. You just need to live in a way that someone could look at and say, "That's the kind of person I want to be." There's also strength in how you handle your low moments. Life will test you. You'll face failure. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be overlooked. But how you respond in those moments says everything. Do you stay bitter, or do you get better? Do you rise or do you retreat? Do you take revenge, or do you take the high road? That's when people are watching most, not during your victories, but during your trials. Handle adversity with grace, and even your enemies will respect you. Being someone worth respecting also means taking care of your growth. Feed your mind. Learn something new. Improve your skills. Don't stay the same year after year. When people see you growing, evolving, challenging yourself, they take notice. You become an example of what's possible. And people don't respect people who settle. They respect people who strive, who push limits, who don't accept mediocrity. Be that kind of person. And you won't need to ask for respect. It'll come naturally. There's also a level of humility that earns deep respect. The ability to admit when you're wrong. The willingness to ask for help. The openness to learn from others. Some think humility is weakness, but it's the opposite. It shows strength of character. It shows you're secure enough to improve. Arrogance might attract attention, but humility earns loyalty. People follow leaders who lead with heart. They follow those who don't pretend to know it all. They trust those who show they care more about growth than ego. You can't buy respect. You can't beg for it. And you can't cheat your way into it. You build it day by day, with the way you live, the way you speak, the way you act when no one's clapping. You build it by being the kind of person others feel better around. You build it by standing tall in your truth, by staying calm under pressure, by choosing honesty over popularity. That's what leaves a lasting mark. Not the noise, not the flash, but the steady presence of integrity. And maybe most important of all, you earn respect by how you treat yourself. If you don't value your time, your health, your goals, why should anyone else? Self-respect sets the tone for every other kind of respect. When you set boundaries, when you protect your energy, when you walk away from what disrespects your worth, that teaches people how to treat you. If you carry yourself with dignity, people will treat you with dignity. If you carry yourself with strength, people will respond to that. But if you allow chaos, if you tolerate being disrespected, if you keep lowering your standards, others will follow your lead. So look at your life and ask, am I living like someone I would respect? Not someone perfect, not someone flawless, but someone consistent, someone honest, someone strong enough to do what's right, even when it's not easy. If the answer is yes, then keep building, keep rising, keep becoming. If the answer is no, then good, because now you know where to begin. You begin with the next right action, the next right word, the next moment of integrity. That's how you change. That's how you grow. That's how you become the kind of person whose presence commands respect, not by force, but by the quiet strength of who you are.
Number 4. Fix your mindset before chasing anything in life. Everything in your life starts in your mind. Your thoughts shape your actions. Your beliefs decide how far you go. Your inner world creates your outer world. Before you chase after the goals, the money, the career, the approval, or any success out there, you have to sit down with yourself and work on how you think, how you see life, how you speak to yourself, and how you process failure and pressure. Because if your mindset is broken, nothing you chase will ever be enough. And even if you get it, you won't be able to keep it. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, and weakness, no strategy will save you. You will second-guess yourself. You will give up early. You will miss opportunities. You will sabotage your own progress
without even realizing it. That's what a weak mindset does. It blocks growth before it even begins. But if you build a strong mindset, one that is focused, clear, and committed, then everything you touch starts to change. Not because life got easier, but because your thinking got sharper. A person who wins in life wins first in their thoughts. Before they ever succeed, they already believe they can. Before they reach a goal, they already see it as possible. They don't wait for proof. They don't wait for others to believe in them. They trust their process and move forward with courage. That's not arrogance. That's trained thinking. That's someone who fixed their mindset. They don't entertain negativity. They don't feed fear. They don't allow toxic voices to live in their head rent-free. You can't expect to have a peaceful life with a chaotic mind, and you can't build something great while thinking small. You have to stop chasing outcomes and start building the kind of thinking that produces those outcomes. If your thoughts are lazy, your actions will be lazy. If your thoughts are negative, your choices will reflect that. Every dream you have requires a certain level of mental strength. If your mind is not there yet, then you're not ready for that dream. Don't rush to achieve things you're not mentally prepared to handle. A new level requires a new mindset. If your goal is big, your thinking must grow to match it. You need to think in terms of responsibility, not just reward. You need to think in terms of process, not just results. You need to build endurance, not just excitement. Because the moment things get hard, and they will, your mindset is the only thing that will keep you moving. Motivation fades, but discipline and belief built from the right mindset stay. If you're still blaming others for your life, you haven't fixed your mindset. If you're waiting for the perfect time, you haven't fixed your mindset. If you're afraid of failing, you haven't fixed your mindset. Growth begins when you take full control of how you think. When you stop looking outside and start looking within, that's when real change begins. That's when your choices become intentional. That's when you stop reacting to life and start building it. You have to teach your mind how to focus. You have to train it to stay steady when distractions pull. You have to build awareness around what kind of thoughts you allow, because your mind is either working for you or working against you, and most people never take the time to notice the difference. They go through life reacting, complaining, escaping, but a sharp mind observes, learns, adjusts. It doesn't run away when things get difficult. It steps in with clarity and courage. Your habits also grow from your mindset. If you think like a winner, you build routines that lead to growth. If you think like a victim, you fall into cycles that destroy your potential. The moment you start thinking differently, your days change. Your decisions change. Your relationships change. You stop accepting things that pull you down. You stop entertaining distractions. You stop wasting your energy on things that don't push you forward. That's what a strong mindset gives you. The ability to choose better, live cleaner, and act with purpose. You also have to protect your mindset from influences that break it down. What are you watching? Who are you listening to? Who are you spending your time with? Your environment is feeding your mind, whether you notice it or not. If you're always around people who complain, you'll complain. If you're always around people who make excuses, you'll start making them too. But if you place yourself around people who think big, who live with discipline, who focus on growth, you'll start rising to that level. That's not inspiration. That's exposure. Your mind becomes what it's surrounded by. You want to chase something in life. Fine. But first ask yourself, do I think like someone who deserves it? Do I carry the mindset of someone who's ready for it? Because your results will never rise above your self-image. If deep down you don't think you're worthy, you'll find a way to lose. If deep down you don't believe you can, you'll always quit early. This is why the inner work is the most important work. You can fix your resume, fix your habits, fix your appearance, but if you don't fix your mindset, it will all fall apart eventually. Fixing your mindset also means letting go of beliefs that no longer serve you. Somewhere along the way, someone might have told you you're not good enough, that you're too late, that you'll never make it, and maybe you believed them. But those beliefs are not facts, they're opinions, and you're not required to live under their weight forever. You can choose new thoughts. You can rewrite those beliefs. You can teach yourself to think differently. It's not easy, but it is possible. And it is necessary if you want real change. It also means becoming more patient. The right mindset understands that real growth takes time. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It stays steady. Most people quit because they expect fast results. But the strong-minded know that long-term success is built slowly. They're okay with the grind. They embrace the wait. They understand that every step, even the small one, is shaping their future. That kind of thinking isn't natural. It's learned. It's built through discipline, through experience, through awareness. Don't let fear be the loudest voice in your head. Fear is not a sign to stop. It's a signal to prepare, to get stronger, to focus. A healthy mindset doesn't run from fear. It uses it. It studies it. It learns how to overcome it. If fear is controlling your decisions, then you haven't done the inner work yet. You have to go in and untangle it. You have to replace fear with clarity. Replace panic with preparation. Replace doubt with action. And that all starts in your mind. You don't get to success by accident. You get there by building the kind of thinking that drives the right choices. Mindset isn't everything, but it's the foundation of everything. If your foundation is weak, everything you build will shake. You'll start things and not finish. You'll chase goals and burn out. You'll win for a moment, and then fall back. But if your mindset is strong, if it's built on responsibility, clarity, patience, courage, then you're ready for whatever comes, whatever you're chasing out there. Don't run after it blindly. Stop and ask yourself, am I thinking clearly? Am I thinking like someone who's ready to handle what I want? If not, pause the chase. Go inward. Fix what's broken. Clean up your thoughts. Strengthen your beliefs. And once that foundation is strong, then move forward. Because now, you're not just chasing something, you're becoming someone who can keep it, someone who can grow it, someone who deserves it.
Number 5. Grow your self-worth to match your biggest goals. Before you reach for a big goal, you have to believe you're someone who is worthy of having it. You have to carry yourself in a way that says you belong at that level. If you see yourself as small, if you carry shame or doubt or guilt, you'll push away the very things you say you want. Life has a way of giving us what we think we deserve. And if deep down you don't feel deserving, you'll never fight hard enough, stay focused long enough, or stand tall enough to receive what you're after. Self-worth isn't just about confidence, it's about truth. It's about knowing what you bring to the table and refusing to shrink to fit into small places. It's about understanding that your dreams are not too much and you are not too little. Most people don't need more motivation. They need to believe they're enough to start. Because when you don't value yourself, you lower your standards. You tolerate less than you should. You settle for comfort instead of reaching for challenge. You make yourself small to avoid standing out. Your self-worth decides how you handle pressure. It shapes how you respond to failure. It influences the kind of people you surround yourself with. If you don't think you're worthy of success, you'll never truly prepare for it. You'll always hold back. You'll always look for someone else to validate your value. But when you grow your self-worth, you stop waiting for permission. You stop looking outside for confirmation. You start making moves because you know you belong in the arena. You can't have a big goal with a small self-image. You'll always sabotage yourself. You'll make excuses. You'll find reasons to delay. You'll fall into cycles of procrastination and comparison. Because somewhere deep inside, you still don't believe you're built for it. Growing your self-worth is not about ego. It's about responsibility. It's about looking in the mirror and deciding that your life matters enough to fight for it. It's about owning your potential and acting like it has meaning. There's a reason people stay stuck at the same level for years. They keep learning strategies. They keep setting goals, but they never upgrade the way they see themselves. They still carry wounds from the past. They still repeat stories in their mind that make them feel less than, and those stories block their growth. If you want to rise, you have to let go of anything that tells you you're not worthy, because those thoughts are not the truth. They're just old noise, and you have the power to replace them. Start by showing up for yourself. Keep the promises you make to you.
Speak to yourself with honesty and respect. Don't wait until you achieve something to feel valuable. Decide that you are valuable because you are here, because you are growing, because you are trying. That decision changes everything. You start treating your goals differently. You start choosing people who respect your standards. You start making time for what matters, because you know you're worth the effort. A person with high self-worth doesn't chase validation. They don't beg for attention. They move with quiet confidence. They build in silence. They don't need applause to keep going, because their self-worth isn't tied to approval. It's built on purpose. That's the kind of strength you need when chasing something big. Not empty hype, but real self-respect. Because big goals will test you. They'll challenge your identity. And if you're not grounded in your worth, you'll collapse under pressure. Sometimes the reason you're not where you want to be is because you haven't done the inner work to believe you're supposed to be there. You may think you're not smart enough, or strong enough, or talented enough. But that's not the truth. The truth is, you're afraid to see yourself as capable, because once you do, you have to start living like it. You have to take responsibility. You have to leave behind the excuses. And that's uncomfortable. But that's where the real growth lives. Self-worth is built by doing hard things, by choosing what's right over what's easy, by showing discipline, even when no one is watching, by setting boundaries and walking away from things that no longer fit who you're becoming. Every time you choose growth over comfort, your self-worth gets stronger. Every time you finish what you started, your self-worth increases. Every time you speak up for yourself, your self-worth expands. This is how you match the weight of your dreams. You can't skip this work. You can't pretend your way through it. You have to face yourself. You have to confront the lies you've believed. You have to forgive what needs to be forgiven. You have to build a new identity, one that reflects the level of life you're aiming for. This takes time. It takes effort, but it's worth it, because once you grow your self-worth, you stop living in fear. You stop chasing things just to feel enough. You live from a place of power, not lack. When you value yourself, you stop chasing cheap validation. You stop needing people to agree with your dreams. You stop asking for advice from people who've never built anything. You become your own source of strength. And that makes you dangerous in the best way, because now you don't just want the goal, you know you're worthy of it. You're no longer waiting for the stars to align. You're aligned within. And that kind of person doesn't quit. That kind of person doesn't settle. If your dream is big, grow into it. Stretch your thinking. Raise your behavior. Fix your language. Treat yourself like someone who is already on the path. Stop playing down your greatness. Stop hiding your hunger. There's nothing noble about shrinking. Stand up. Speak up. Show up. Your self-worth is not something you find. It's something you build. It's something you choose every day. By the way you think, act, and carry yourself. Don't just dream big. Live big. Don't just hope to reach the next level. Prepare for it by becoming someone who belongs there. Stop asking whether you're good enough. Start asking what habits, what focus, what standards are required to live at that level. And start becoming that person now. Because the moment your self-worth rises, your life starts catching up. The people around you change. The way you walk changes. The choices you make become cleaner. Everything starts to align. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers. But you do have to believe you're worth the effort. You do have to trust that your life is not an accident. That you're here with a purpose. That your dreams matter. That you matter. And once you own that truth, you stop asking for a seat at the table. You build your own. You stop waiting to be chosen. You choose yourself. That's the kind of person who attracts opportunities, who creates impact, who leads with strength. That's the person your biggest goals are waiting for. Number 6. Improve your daily actions to change your reality. Your life today is a reflection of what you do every day. If you want to see something different in your future, you have to start doing something different right now. Most people keep hoping for change while repeating the same habits that built the life they no longer want. That's not how it works. You don't get a new result from old routines. Real change starts when you stop waiting and begin making better choices day by day. It's not about what you wish for. It's about what you work on consistently. The truth is, your actions are the clearest signal of what you actually believe. If you believe you're meant for more, you'll start acting like it. You'll stop wasting your time on meaningless distractions. You'll stop postponing your responsibilities. You'll stop trying to escape reality and instead build a new one. Nothing around you will change until what you do with your time changes. You don't become successful by accident. You become successful by building better habits, hour by hour, step by step. Every morning is a new opportunity to move closer to the life you want, but if your first hour is chaos, your day will follow that same pattern. If you wake up with no plan, no intention, no direction, you're just surviving. And people who only survive never get to build something great. You don't need to overhaul everything in one day. You just need to start showing up for yourself in small but consistent ways. Your future is shaped not in big dramatic moments, but in how you show up daily. When your daily actions are sloppy, your results will reflect that. When your routines are weak, your outcomes will be unstable. When you drift through your day with no structure, you lose time, energy, and purpose. But when you tighten up your discipline, everything starts to feel possible. You feel in control. You feel clear. You feel proud. That's where confidence comes from. Not from hoping, but from earning it through action. You start to build momentum, and that momentum builds belief. What you allow in your day becomes your standard. If you allow procrastination, if you tolerate distractions, if you keep quitting when it gets uncomfortable, that becomes your pattern. And patterns are powerful. They either lift you or hold you down. You have to ask yourself every day, are my actions today getting me closer to the life I said I want? If not, something needs to change. That change doesn't come from motivation. It comes from responsibility. It comes from choosing better, even when it's hard. Improving your actions doesn't require perfection. It requires effort. It requires honesty. It requires self-awareness. You have to look at how you're spending your time and ask if those choices are helping you grow. Scrolling for hours, binge-watching distractions, saying yes to everything that feels good in the moment, that's not freedom. That's avoiding the work that would actually give you peace. Discipline brings peace. Structure brings clarity. And better actions bring better days. You don't need a complete plan for the next 5 years. You just need to get today right. You need to master your mornings, protect your energy, focus on your priorities. Finish what you start. If you do that, the future will take care of itself. People look at successful lives and think it's all about talent or luck, but most of the time, it's about who was willing to get up early, stay late, stay focused, and keep improving while no one was watching. It's about actions repeated long enough to build results that speak for themselves. If you don't change what you do with your hours, your years will look the same. Don't waste time pretending you're stuck. You're not stuck. You're just caught in habits that no longer serve you. And you have the power to replace them. Replace aimlessness with clarity. Replace laziness with discipline. Replace excuses with accountability. Every choice you make today either strengthens or weakens your future. Don't underestimate the power of daily improvement. Start where you are. Clean up your schedule. Track your behavior. Pay attention to what drains your time and energy. Remove it. Reduce it. Replace it with what builds you. Your time is your life. Protect it. Use it wisely. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. If you keep choosing the easier path, you'll never develop the strength required to handle the next level. But if you choose what's right over what's easy, you'll build a life that reflects your potential. You want different? Do different. Stop overthinking. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Start building better days. Because better days become better weeks. Better weeks become better months. And eventually, you wake up in a life that feels right. Not because of chance, but because you did the work. People around you may not notice the small changes right away, but keep going. You're not doing it for their approval. You're doing it because your future matters. You matter. Discipline is not about being rigid. It's about being free. When your actions align with your values, you sleep better. You walk taller. You speak clearer. You stop chasing motivation because your habits carry you. Even on hard days, your routine saves you. And on great days, your habits push you further. That's how you win. Not by working harder once in a while, but by showing up better every day. If your life feels chaotic, look at your actions. Look at your calendar. Look at how you spend your evenings. Look at what you say yes to. Look at what you avoid. You'll find answers there. And once you find them, take ownership. Don't wait for life to slow down or circumstances to get easier. Improve how you show up now. Become someone who takes action when it's inconvenient, when it's boring, when it's hard. That's the person who builds something real. Nothing changes until your actions change. Not your bank account, not your relationships, not your health, not your peace. Everything stays the same until you start living differently. And the best part is, you don't need permission to begin. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need the decision. Decide that you will no longer live below your potential. Decide that you will no longer settle for patterns that drain you. Decide that you will lead your life with intention. Make your days count. Not just the big ones. Every single one. Wake up with a reason. Move with direction. Speak with purpose. Work with pride. Build routines that honor your future. Surround yourself with reminders of what you're working for. Create a space that supports your focus. Build a system that makes it easier to stay consistent. Don't rely on willpower. Design your life so that the right actions become automatic. Most people don't need more time. They need more clarity and consistency. You already have enough time. You just need to stop wasting it. Improve how you show up in small moments. Improve how you react to challenges. Improve how you talk to yourself. Improve how you treat your goals. Take responsibility for your progress. No one's coming to rescue you. No one's going to build it for you. This is your life, and it's shaped by what you choose to do with each day you're given.
Number 7. Master your emotions to attract real inner peace. One of the most powerful things a person can ever do is take control of their emotions. Not hide them, not deny them, not suppress them, but understand them, manage them, lead them. Because if you don't lead your emotions will lead your life, and they won't lead it anywhere good. Emotions are not the enemy. They're messengers. They're signals, but they are not commands. You feel fear, you feel anger, you feel sadness, but you don't have to act on all of it. What you do next, that's your responsibility. That's where your power is. Most people go through life reacting. Someone says something rude, and they respond in anger. Something doesn't go as planned, and they spiral into anxiety. They wake up feeling off, and the whole day follows that one emotion. That is a dangerous way to live, because when your emotions are in control, you're not. If your peace depends on everything going your way, you'll never find peace. Real peace comes when you stop letting everything outside you dictate what happens inside you. You must become the kind of person who knows how to feel deeply without falling apart. You must know how to stay grounded when things around you get loud. When you master your emotions, you stop being pulled in every direction. You don't need to escape your feelings. You need to train yourself to respond to them with clarity. Inner peace is not about silence on the outside. It's about strength on the inside. It's not the absence of problems, but the presence of emotional control no matter what the problem is. You don't get there by pretending to be fine. You get there by paying attention to what you feel and asking why. What's the thought behind the emotion? What story are you telling yourself? What belief is feeding that reaction? Once you understand that, you can break the cycle. You can change how you talk to yourself. You can shift your focus. You can act from intention instead of impulse. And when you start doing that consistently, you create a stable foundation that nothing can shake easily. Emotions are part of being human, but being ruled by them is a choice. You don't have to act on every feeling that shows up. Feelings are real, but they aren't always true. Just because you feel rejected doesn't mean you are. Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean there's danger.
Just because you feel unworthy doesn't mean you lack value. You must separate emotion from fact, and that takes awareness and practice. But once you do, your life begins to change. People with emotional mastery are not cold or detached. They're deeply aware, but they refuse to be owned by their moods. They don't lose themselves in anger or collapse under pressure. They know how to pause. They know how to breathe. They know how to process before reacting. And that gives them power, because it gives them choice. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're building character. You're building the kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. Think about how often people lose relationships, jobs, or opportunities, just because they couldn't manage their emotions. A single angry outburst can burn a bridge. A jealous reaction can ruin trust. An emotional meltdown can turn a good day into a bad week. Emotional discipline matters. And you don't develop it by ignoring emotions. You develop it by facing them with honesty and learning how to work through them instead of running from them. Ask yourself how often your emotions have led you to make decisions you later regretted. Did you speak too soon? Did you give up too early? Did you react too strongly? That's why emotional self-control isn't optional. It's essential. You can't build a strong future with weak emotions. You must learn to sit with discomfort without being controlled by it. You must learn to listen to frustration without lashing out. You must learn to stay steady even when your mind wants to panic. Mastering emotions doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being emotionally intelligent. It means knowing when to rest and when to push, when to speak and when to be quiet, when to hold on and when to let go. It's about being wise with what you feel, not careless with it. When you know how to calm yourself, how to shift your state, how to navigate stress without collapsing, that's when you feel peace. Not because everything's perfect, but because you know how to handle life even when it's not. Your peace grows when you stop reacting to every trigger. You stop arguing with people who don't matter. You stop explaining yourself to people who refuse to understand. You stop needing everyone to agree with you. You stop letting small things ruin big moments. You realize your energy is sacred, and not every problem deserves your attention. This kind of peace doesn't come easy. It's earned through practice, through reflection, through learning to live above your feelings rather than beneath them. To master your emotions, start with small habits. Don't wake up and dive straight into your phone. Give yourself 5 minutes of stillness. Don't rush into the day without checking in with yourself. Ask, what am I feeling right now? What do I need today? Take time to reset when you feel overwhelmed. Learn to take deep breaths instead of snapping. Journal when your mind feels heavy. Talk it out with someone you trust. Get the emotions out in a healthy way. Don't let them sit and build until they explode. You also need to protect your emotional space. That means watching who you spend time with. Some people thrive on drama, and if you're not careful, they'll drag you into it. You don't have to be available for every argument. You don't have to attend every conflict you're invited to. You can walk away. You can set boundaries. That's not weakness. That's strength. Your peace is too valuable to be traded for temporary approval. Learn to forgive, not because others always deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Carrying bitterness poisons your peace. You don't have to forget, but you can release. You can let go of the anger that's been stealing your focus. You can stop replaying what they did. You can choose to be free from that weight. That doesn't mean you excuse the behavior. It means you refuse to let it control your emotions anymore. When you build emotional control, you become trustworthy, not just to others but to yourself. You trust your ability to respond with wisdom. You trust yourself not to fall apart when things go wrong. You trust your inner strength to carry you. And that kind of trust brings peace that no one else can give you or take away. It's yours because you built it. Peace doesn't mean everything is easy. It means you know how to stay strong, no matter how hard it gets. It means you can stay present when your mind wants to run. It means you can feel pain without becoming bitter. You can feel fear and still take the next step. You can feel sadness and still move forward. You can feel overwhelmed and still find calm. That's emotional mastery. And once you taste that kind of peace, you'll never want to live without it again. Number 8. Level up your habits to attract higher success. Your habits are the silent architects of your future. They don't get the spotlight, but they shape everything about your life. The simple truth is, if you want to change your life, you need to start by changing your daily habits. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen by accident. It happens through consistent, disciplined actions that build over time. The habits you form today are what will determine your results tomorrow. Think about it. Every successful person you admire got there because they cultivated the right habits. They didn't wait for the perfect opportunity to come knocking. They created the success they have by showing up every day, doing the work, and staying disciplined long after the excitement faded. Success is the result of daily small actions that compound over time. And if you want to level up, it's these small actions that you need to focus on. If you can master your habits, you can master your life. Habits are powerful because they run in the background of your life. They are automatic. They don't require a lot of thought, and that's why they are so dangerous when they're not serving you. If you have the wrong habits, you don't have to think about them, they just show up. And if they're the wrong habits, they will keep you stuck. But when you start building the right habits, everything changes. You become unstoppable, not because you're working harder, but because you've aligned your actions with your goals. The first step is to recognize that your current habits are a reflection of where you are in life. They've gotten you this far. But if you want to go further, if you want to step into a higher level of success, you have to change your behaviors. Start by looking at the habits you've formed and ask yourself, are they helping me reach the next level? Are they aligned with the kind of success I want to achieve? The answer is in your daily routine. Success starts with small habits, ones you do consistently over and over again, no matter how you feel. If you're not getting the results you want, it's not about trying harder. It's about changing the foundation. You can work 80 hours a week, but if your habits aren't aligned with success, you'll just burn out. So the goal isn't to hustle more, but to hustle smarter. The goal is to change your habits from the ground up, to create a set of actions that support your biggest dreams and your highest goals. Every action you take, no matter how small, should move you closer to that goal. When you're serious about leveling up, you have to look at everything you're doing on a daily basis. What time do you wake up? What do you do first thing in the morning? Do you spend your time learning and growing? Or are you wasting time on things that don't matter? The small choices you make throughout the day are either fueling your success or holding you back. So take inventory of your habits. Are they helping you build the future you want, or are they taking you further away from it? The most successful people don't just work hard, they work smart. They make sure that everything they do aligns with the person they want to become. They focus on building good habits in every area of their life. They make their health a priority, knowing that a strong body leads to a strong mind. They focus on their finances, understanding that financial discipline is the key to long-term success. They are intentional about the people they spend time with, because they understand that the right relationships can elevate their life. To level up your habits, start by setting clear goals. Once you know what you want to achieve, break it down into daily habits that will support that vision. For example, if you want to grow your business, your habit might be to set aside an hour every day to work on your business, to learn something new, or to improve a skill. If you want to be healthier, your habit could be to exercise every day, eat mindfully, and get enough sleep. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. You won't get everything right all at once, but the more consistent you are, the better your results will become. It's also important to recognize that leveling up your habits isn't just about what you add to your life. It's also about what you remove. Look at your daily actions and figure out what's not serving you. Are there habits that are wasting your time? Are there negative patterns that are holding you back? If you're spending hours on social media, for example, that's time you could be using to develop a skill, read, or work on your goals. Identify where you're leaking time and energy, and cut back. Replace those habits with ones that support your growth. One of the hardest parts of changing your habits is staying consistent. There will be days when you don't feel like doing the work, when you want to take the easy way out, when you're tired or frustrated. That's when your discipline matters most. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fades. It's what helps you show up even when you don't feel like it. The people who succeed are not the ones who always feel like doing the work, but the ones who keep doing it anyway. They trust the process, they trust the power of consistent action, and they know that their efforts will pay off in the long run. The beauty of habits is that they don't require a lot of willpower once they're in place. In fact, habits are what allow you to be successful without constantly burning yourself out. If you're trying to force yourself to be successful without changing your habits, it's like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation. It's going to collapse eventually. But if you build your success on a strong foundation of good habits, your growth will be steady, sustainable, and inevitable. Another key to leveling up your habits is accountability. It's not always easy to stay committed to new habits, especially when you're doing it alone. That's why having someone to hold you accountable can make all the difference. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, or even a coach, having someone to support you, to encourage you, and to hold you accountable to your goals can help keep you on track. Share your goals with someone who believes in you and wants to see you succeed. They'll push you when you need it and celebrate with you when you win. If you want higher success, you need to level up your habits. Don't wait for success to come to you. Create it by developing daily habits that align with your dreams. The more you grow your habits, the more you'll grow your results. Success is not an accident. It's a result of the choices you make every single day. Make the decision to level up your habits, and you'll start seeing higher levels of success in every area of your life.
Number 9. Strengthen your values to attract deeper connections. Your values define who you are at your core. They guide your decisions, shape your relationships, and ultimately determine the quality of your connections with others. When you live by a set of strong, clear values, you attract people who align with who you are. These are the relationships that are meaningful and lasting. But to build those kinds of relationships, you need to first be clear on your own values. You need to understand what matters most to you and live those values every day. Only then can you attract the kind of people who will appreciate and respect you for who you truly are. Values are the foundation of deep connections. Without a strong foundation, any relationship is unstable. You might find temporary connections based on convenience or surface-level similarities. But deep, lasting relationships come when you align with people who share your values. Your values serve as a magnet, pulling in those who resonate with the same principles and standards you hold dear. The more clearly you define and strengthen your values, the more you'll naturally attract people who support and enrich your life. Too often, people focus on what they can get from others, whether it's approval, attention, or validation. But real connections aren't about what you can take. They're about what you can give. The stronger your values, the more authentic and genuine you'll be with others. When you're honest about who you are and what you stand for, you open up space for others to do the same. This mutual honesty and vulnerability create connections that are not only deep but also fulfilling. These are the relationships that stand the test of time. The first step in strengthening your values is to define them. Ask yourself what truly matters to you. What do you stand for? What are the principles you will never compromise on? These can range from integrity, kindness, and honesty to ambition, loyalty, and respect. What you value shapes your actions, so it's important to be intentional about your values. Once you've defined them, your next step is to consistently live by them. This doesn't mean being perfect, but it means striving to make choices that align with your values even when it's difficult. The more you practice living your values, the stronger they become. Living by your values doesn't just help you attract the right people. It also helps you navigate life with confidence. When you know what you stand for, you're less likely to be swayed by outside opinions or pressures. You're more likely to stand firm in your beliefs and make decisions that are aligned with your authentic self. This creates a sense of inner peace and self-respect that draws people toward you. People are naturally attracted to those who are clear about who they are and what they believe in. When you live according to your values, you exude a confidence that attracts others who respect your authenticity. As you strengthen your values, you'll find that your relationships deepen. You begin to attract people who also live by their values.
These people won't be interested in superficial interactions. They'll want to connect with you on a deeper level. They'll want to share their values with you, learn from you, and grow alongside you. Relationships built on shared values have a sense of mutual respect and understanding. They're not transactional, they're transformational. These are the kinds of relationships that nourish your soul and help you become the best version of yourself. But strengthening your values isn't always easy. It requires self-reflection and the courage to live authentically, even when it's uncomfortable. Sometimes, you'll have to make tough choices. You may have to let go of relationships that no longer align with your values, even if they've been a part of your life for a long time. But this is necessary for your growth. Holding on to relationships that don't support who you are can keep you stuck. By letting go, you create space for people who are more aligned with your values and who can help you grow into the person you want to be. You might also face challenges when your values clash with those around you. This can be especially true in work or family environments, where expectations can sometimes conflict with your principles. But this is where your strength and commitment to your values come into play. It's easy to compromise when you feel pressure, but real strength comes from standing firm in what you believe, even when it's difficult. You don't need to force others to adopt your values, but you do need to stay true to yourself. When you consistently demonstrate your values, you lead by example, and this can inspire others to reflect on their own principles. At the same time, it's important to stay open to growth. Strengthening your values doesn't mean being rigid or closed off to new ideas. Values are not about perfection. They're about striving to be the best version of yourself. Sometimes your values will evolve as you learn and grow. It's important to stay humble and willing to adapt, but always with the intention of becoming a better, more authentic version of yourself. Growth is part of the process. The more you grow, the more you'll attract people who are on a similar journey. Deep connections aren't built on shared interests or mutual acquaintances. They're built on shared values. When two people share the same core beliefs, they can navigate challenges together, support each other's growth, and build a relationship that's truly meaningful. These connections don't require constant maintenance because they're grounded in something much deeper than just convenience or circumstance. They're grounded in mutual respect and understanding. You don't have to look far to see how strengthening your values can transform your relationships. Just think about the people in your life who you trust the most. They're likely the ones who share similar values with you, the ones who align with your principles. When you make your values clear and live them every day, you give others the opportunity to connect with you on a deeper level. You attract the kind of people who will support you, challenge you, and help you grow. The more you focus on strengthening your values, the more you'll create a life filled with meaningful, authentic relationships. These connections will not only enrich your life but will also help you become the best version of yourself. So take the time to reflect on your values, live them every day, and watch how your relationships transform. When you live according to your values, you not only attract the right people, you also become a magnet for deeper, more fulfilling connections. Number 10. Work on your soul before asking life for more. Before you ask life for more, it's important to first turn inward and focus on your soul. Life is not about what we accumulate or how much we achieve. It's about the growth that happens within us. Your soul is the core of who you are. It's where your deepest desires, values, and purposes reside. Yet many people look outward for answers, for success, or for validation. But forget that true fulfillment comes when we work on our internal self. If you want more from life, you must first focus on strengthening your soul. What does it mean to work on your soul? It means taking time for self-reflection, for connecting with your deeper self. It's about identifying what truly matters to you and aligning your actions with your deepest values. It's about quieting the noise of the world and focusing on what's inside. So often we rush through life without ever truly connecting with our inner world. And when we do this, we miss out on the peace, clarity, and joy that come with being in tune with ourselves. If you want more from life, you need to be able to give yourself the gift of self-awareness. In the hustle and bustle of life, we often ignore the whispers of our soul. We become distracted by the pressures, the goals, and the endless tasks on our to-do lists. But in doing so, we miss the opportunity to connect with what truly matters. When we don't take care of our soul, we become disconnected from our purpose. And when we're disconnected from our purpose, We find ourselves asking for more without truly understanding what we're asking for. Working on your soul isn't about achieving anything external. It's about becoming grounded in who you are. It's about aligning your intentions with your truest self. To begin working on your soul, you need to start by asking yourself the tough questions. What do you value most in life? What do you want to leave behind when your time is up? What brings you joy, and what drains you? These questions are not meant to be answered quickly or lightly. They require deep thought, honesty, and reflection. Taking the time to answer these questions will help you understand your core, your beliefs, and your purpose. When you understand your soul's true desires, you can make decisions that are in alignment with your highest self. In working on your soul, you also need to understand the importance of self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics, constantly focusing on what we don't have or what we haven't achieved. But growth starts with kindness, with accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all. When you begin to treat yourself with love and compassion, you create the space to heal, to grow, and to evolve. It's only when you embrace your imperfections that you truly begin to tap into your potential. If you want life to give you more, you first have to give yourself more patience, more understanding, and more acceptance. In addition to self-compassion, working on your soul also means cultivating gratitude. When you practice gratitude, you shift your focus from what's lacking to what's already abundant in your life. Gratitude opens your heart and allows you to see the beauty and blessings that surround you. It strengthens your soul by helping you focus on what truly matters: relationships, experiences, health, and inner peace. When you cultivate gratitude, you become more aligned with your soul's desires. You start attracting more of what truly nourishes your spirit, rather than empty pursuits that leave you feeling unfulfilled. Another critical aspect of working on your soul is mindfulness. Being mindful means living in the present moment, being fully aware of what's happening in your life right now without judgment. So often we live in the past or the future, wishing we could change something that's already happened or worrying about what's to come. But the key to peace, happiness, and success is to be fully engaged in the present moment. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to connect with your soul's wisdom. You hear your inner voice more clearly, and you're better equipped to make decisions that align with your true self. Mindfulness allows you to be present for the moments that truly matter, and this presence is where growth happens. Working on your soul also requires emotional awareness. Too often we suppress our emotions or avoid them because we're afraid of what they might reveal. But our emotions are the compass that guides us toward a more fulfilling life. By understanding and processing your emotions, you can gain insight into what's going on inside you and make conscious choices that lead to healing. Emotional awareness allows you to be free from the past and not be controlled by negative emotions. It gives you the power to act from a place of inner peace, rather than react from a place of fear or anger. The more you strengthen your emotional awareness, the more your soul opens up to the possibilities life has to offer. When you start working on your soul, the changes aren't always immediate, but they are profound. You begin to feel more grounded, more aligned with your purpose. You start attracting people and experiences that resonate with who you truly are. This doesn't mean everything will be perfect, but it does mean that you'll start to notice a shift in the way life responds to you. The more you work on your soul, the more life will work with you, offering you the experiences, opportunities, and growth that are in alignment with your highest good. Working on your soul isn't a one-time event, it's a lifelong process. It's about continuously checking in with yourself, reflecting on your values, and realigning when necessary. It's about being willing to do the inner work, to challenge yourself, and to grow. Life will continue to throw challenges your way, but when you have a strong foundation within yourself, you're better equipped to handle them. You're better prepared to respond with wisdom, compassion, and clarity. You're not just reacting to life's circumstances, you're actively creating your reality from the inside out. When you have a strong, centered soul, life responds accordingly. It's when you're internally aligned that you can start to ask life for more abundance, more love, more fulfillment. But asking for more is only meaningful when you've worked on yourself first. When you are grounded in your values, your beliefs, and your purpose, you're ready to handle the blessings that life wants to give you. Only then can you truly appreciate what you receive. Only then can you truly welcome what's meant for you with open arms and a full heart.